Hello, my loyal listener. Have you ever felt just one moment away from losing everything? Do you believe that some lives are destined to move mountains even after life is gone? Today's story is raw. It asks, how fragile is the line that separates life and death? And how do we honor those taken too soon by violence, especially when they follow their calling? That's probably what I do personally appreciate most of all. Welcome to the episode number 9 of Hollywood Healing Podcast. And today we speak of the thin line between life and death through the tragedy of Charlie Kirk's assassination and other stories of leaders who lived boldly and left too soon. It's never enough of good people, isn't it? Charlie Kirk, a prominent conservative activist and founder of Turning Point USA, was speaking at Utah Valley University during his American comeback tour when a gunman opened fire from a rooftop. That attack, shocking in its political overtones, left Kirk fatally wounded. He died on September 10th, 2025, and this date we will remember forever. And I think not only the history of United States, but all over the world. We all know September 11th, and now we keep in our memory forever September 10th, this cruel day full of tragedy in the country. The same day it was the confrontation of the school in Colorado and assassination of dear Kirk. He died when he was 31 years old, which is nothing, very young. Young soul, young, ambitious, motivated, focused, inspirational. Charlie was more than a political voice. He was a husband, father of 2 children, an author, and someone who lived by his calling. And I appreciate so much people who are so much awake, who are looking for their purpose in life, who just don't want to live it day by day with no reason to wake up in the morning, but who are so happy to find their calling and follow it, who are living with a message, who are living with a mission, who are living with something to leave to this world. He believed deeply in his mission, and he never shied from speaking his truth in public. Not even the message matters. It doesn't depend left or right. It matters most of all that he was so honest. He was so inspirational, so motivational, so shining, so open to talk to the young generation, explaining things from his heart. The suspect, investigators said, acted with the mindset that he was right. He had a reason to do it. He decided to play God to take somebody else's life. And he said also that he looks like he was getting ready for this big day for Kim because he didn't like the message Kirk was passing to people, changing the mindset of the young generation. And as well, he said, I had a chance to take his life away, and I did it. He really did. We all watched the video of cruel death, how he passed away. Took a second to take life of young, handsome, smart, kind, great personality. And when people are killed for words, for ideas, for daring to speak, it is a sign that, I guess, freedom itself is under attack. In number one country of the world that was always has been famous exactly for the freedom of speech and not only. To see this in a larger frame, let's remember others who were taken because they spoke loudly. Martin Luther King. King was assassinated on April 4th, 1968, in Memphis, Tennessee. He was standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel when James Earl Ray shot him. King had been in Memphis to support striking sanitation workers fighting for dignity and fair pay. He was targeted because of his leadership in the civil rights movement and his growing influence as a voice for justice, peace, and equality. His death sent shockwaves across America and the world, sparkling grief, but also strengthening the moment he died for. His name is forever with us. We have the day to celebrate his life and respect his death. President John Kennedy. Kennedy was assassinated on November 22nd, 1963, in Dallas, Texas, one of my favorite states out of 50 states in the United States. Classy, state with a lot of dignity, honor, great representation of American nation. As his motorcade passed through Dealey Plaza, shots were fired by Lee Harvey Oswald from a nearby building. The young president, just 46 years old, which is nothing. I'm 38 years old, and I tell you, my uncle was killed. It was a political poisoning because he was independent member of the parliament. He was standing for his own views in Ukraine by that time. It was allowed. He was very brave, very honest, very direct. For his 2 years being in the parliament, one of 450 members, he integrated two huge laws that stayed in Ukraine forever. So the young President Kennedy, being 46, such an early time to live, was killed instantly. Kennedy's charisma, his vision for civil rights, and his push for global peace made him a beloved figure, and also a controversial one in turbulent times. His death marked a turning point in USA history, leaving the nation grieving and questioning. These stories remind us that people who follow their calling, who speak truth, often become targets, but often they leave a legacy that becomes louder than the act that tried to silence them. Psychologically speaking, when someone is murdered or assassinated for their beliefs, it reignites collective fear, but also collective witness. Witnessing injustice, witnessing injustice, tragedy, or silencing can awaken us in something sacred, the urgency to live more truly, to speak more carefully, to love more bravely, to appreciate every single day, to discover who you are and never give up. Spiritually, these events stretch the notion of morality. They force us to ask, if I might die tomorrow, how would I want to have lived today? Charlie Kirk was gone doing what he loved to do. Of course, he didn't spend enough time with his family, his beloved family, being surrounded by a beautiful wife and children. But he was following his passion, doing politics, speaking to people, never scared of confrontation and difficult conversations. Charlie Kirk, by all accounts, didn't waste his seconds. He stood on stages, spoke into microphones, built a movement. He was loyal to his calling until his final breath. And that's what we all can admire about him, you like him or not. Doesn't matter you left or right. But you can admire him for his youth, openness, empathy, the way he was brave, passionate. He lived with a lot of fire, and he was taken by that fire. But let's speak about signs of someone who is living according to their calling. They speak truth, and they speak truth even if it's politics, even if it's risky. They're not scared of that truth. They sacrifice sometimes comfort for conviction. They leave an impact that outlives their voice. Kirk is gone, Kennedy is gone, King is done, but they're still with us forever. What to do when tragedy or political violence shakes your world? And I have to tell you, I've been parking next day because it was September 11th, and I've seen the demonstration that supported and respected September 11th, and I was scared to get out of the car. And I called my husband and I talked to him, do you think it's dangerous? Because from distance I couldn't recognize if it's safe or not. Nowadays you have to make money not to get anything like good home or great trip sharing with your family. You're trying to buy with that money your safety to stay away from people. Is it a safe world or what? No, it's not normal. I'm against it. We love people. We have to share. We have to keep each other alive. We have to shine. We have to keep inner fire, not to put fire on each other. And what to do here when we're all full of fears? And definitely watching television with news like that puts you in a bad mood and wakes up a lot of inner fears that we all have: fear of life and fear of death. Grieve openly. Let tears go and leave your physical body. That will liberate a lot of energy inside. Question, talk. Let your anger go away. Do self-healing, because those type of things, like Kirk's death, they will remind you of the deaths of people you loved, of your losses. For me, it was a tragedy being 60 years old when my uncle, unbelievable example of being a man and great political figure, left the planet because he was poisoned, he was killed. Political murder in Ukraine with a lot of corruption. When my family couldn't investigate the body, and by the law, I think everybody who is under 43 or 46 should be investigated no matter what. And president of Ukraine by the time, he didn't let it happen to my grandmother, who was the mother of your uncle. Why? Because everybody knew about that. You know, about political murders like that. at least in the country where I came from, unfortunately. As much as I'm proud and loving it right now, fighting for freedom and justice, bleeding for few years, I'm proud of people, but I can't be proud of corruption that my family faced by that time and my country faced by that time. Speak their names, honor the mission. Legacy is continuation of people who lived on mission. Use fear as a fool, not as a chain. Liberate yourself and move forward in life. Think about your passion in life, how you can help yourself, people around you, and maybe even the country or the world. Choose to act with love. Choose to treat people with empathy no matter what, even in injustice. Sometimes compassion is the boldest response. Charlie Kirk was loyal to his calling. He believed in what he was doing. He will live in our hearts forever. His words will be with us, his messages will be with us, and he made impossible possible. This horrible death, I hope it will the only probably good outcome of it is inspirational note. To be brave, to be honest, to live with your own truth. Don't ask for permission for life to happen, but make it happen every single day. Every moment you have is a chance to show up for the purpose, your voice, your passion, your truth. Don't bury it. Leave it shining. And through Charlie's life was cut short, his calling was never silent. The calling lives through us who choose to remember, to stand, and to believe. And for those who seek emotional support, don't hesitate to download my self help and self love app Gemini near me with a revolutionary feature 24/7 pocket counselor Iryna AI, who is always there for you. Learn to love yourself and trust the process. Your self love and relationship expert, Iryna Wood.